Kiara and Keyanthi, what's the next part of your swimming lesson?
Oh, good heavens. I never said I was personally very good at swimming, so let's just pretend that she and Kiara are, doing the best that they can to float.
And we're being babysat by the guy who I've not threatened into making sure I don't die, but have potentially guilted into making sure that if I die, he knows there'll be some drow that'll pop up eventually.
Okay. Yeah.
Give it 100 years, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do some dex checks. And see how it's
Okay.
stay afloat.
Oh, 21.
Hey, yeah.
So 19 plus 2. And
Is it a general
It's
one or
just
a
a
specific
general
dex
one,
check?
yeah.
Crap. Alright, I rolled a 7.
I mean, you can pick other ones, like, within that.
I pick
Okay, yeah, you can
acrobatics.
pick that within the vein.
It's a 10 now.
while we're swimming, my hair comes loose and it just gets in your face and just kind of
Yeah,
ruins
you're
it
just like.
for a minute. I mean, you do have a lot of hair on your head.
I mean,
as well.
like, yeah, you could have like
I
thought
do,
it was like
yeah.
a water snake or something. You're like just surprised, just genuinely.
Or algae. Oh my gosh, I would hate algae.
Yeah. Some like algae comes up. Anyway, just Keyanthi just jerks up out of the water, just pops up like.
Yeah, like, whoa, what was it?
And,
Enemies?
and
Kiara's
yeah, Lionel's
figuring
just
it out.
like, yeah, good man, just like, and you just gotta move your arms like this. And he like demonstrates.
Okay.
And then, so you want to bring your head up to breathe, and you gotta breathe. Remember that. Yeah. So we'll have him. I like him. Okay.
Like Luna would just call out, remember to exhale between breaths.
No, just continually inhale, never exhale. That's
Yeah.
how swimming works. Just keep breathing
I-
in.
I thought I'm supposed to be holding my breath.
Wait.
Okay, back. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Yeah, he got like a 27 for his performance. Oh my gosh. Lionel is so charismatic.
He's just a natural born performer.
Yeah, he just you like get it. It's everything seems to just click into place. What Keyanthi was saying, and you're like about breathing and the balance of the core, and then you're like, okay, I just gotta like move my arms like this, and he's like, yeah, and then kick your feet like in tandem, and then you start to like propel forward, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm swimming. Like
It's
tentative.
a little terrifying when she realizes there's no like ground underneath her feet, but then she's like, just keep swimming. Do what the man with the abs says. Do what the man and the woman with the abs say.
If only I had abs.
Should I make
One
another dex
day.
check?
Yeah, you can make a strength check at this point.
Ooh,
Because
strength.
it's about coordinating your body in a way that makes sense to you. And strength is.
And moving in the water is tiring.
5, because that's an 18 plus 7.
Yeah, so you get the movements down. It feels like weird and foreign to you, but you feel like you actually like know the mechanics of swimming now. So you're not gonna just sink like a rock anymore.
Excellent.
And
So, a
that's
little
just-
tired, she probably is just like, all right, probably trying to like coast her way to shore, discreetly trying to leave the lesson.
And Lionel very loudly is like, yeah, she's doing it. Look at it. Everyone, look at Kiara. She's doing it.
And we all clapped.
We're like, yeah.
And everyone clapped.
Yes.
Just once.
I clap my little alligator arms
Yeah.
Eh.
while Rolf is still throwing food into my mouth, probably.
Like you do this like little catch and roll thing, like you probably roll over and like your little feet go Good. Yeah.
Yeah, you come back on shore and you guys are hanging out. What do you guys want to do at the lake? Anything you wanna?
Oh,
What?
this is if you guys want to notice it. You'll notice that without Kiara's like stocking things, one of her legs looks a little lighter around the thigh and knee area, like an old scar. It's like a lighter blue than the rest of her.
Oh, I thought you were saying like she had like a tan line somehow. I don't know.
How?
She might have one of those too, but like, you know. Yeah, you know.
How did you manage that underground?
Yeah, that
Yeah, I mean, she's been up top for a
and,
minute. But no, it's like from like her mid thigh down to just below her knee. It's a little bit lighter, like overall like a long, old and faded scar, but it doesn't look as bad as it could have been. But it was probably a pretty big injury. Not terrible, but yeah. She isn't really bothered by it. She just walks on like no big deal. She's happy that she got to swim. Now she has to wring out her very much many hair.
Yeah. And I just barrel towards Kiara, and then I see alligator run, and then boom, I shift back into Ellie. I'm like, you did it!
I did. Thank you.
Glad we could help. Ellie doing absolutely nothing.
Kiara thanks all of them. She thanks. So she's like, thank you, Ellie, Keyanthi, Lionel. This is like looks directly at pack level. Lionel. Lionel.
I was like, yeah, no problem, man. And he winks at you just because he's just like that.
She winks back. Wink, wink.
Double wink.
Double wink. You just, I mean, I feel like he'd just keep winking at you. Because you kept winking back and you just like continually wink at each other.
See them both walking up to shore, just like keep on winking at each other. It's like.
I lean into Keyanthi and I'm like looking at this blinking match and I'm like, do you think that Kiara and Lionel? I mean,
I believe they may have something in their eye from the water. It's pretty.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That. Just that.
That's definitely what Keyanthi was thinking. Like, oh, they're probably eye irritants. We should get out of the water right now. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Oh, algae. Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like we guys come on shore and Rolf comes up and introduces himself and he's like, in my head canon, he's like kind of like fairy tale prince attractive, if that makes sense, where he's like a little pretty and he has like, this comes from him being a swarm keeper and he just has this flock of birds with him at all times. And he comes up and says, oh hey, I'm Rolf, Luna and I are distant cousins, but we grew up together, it's nice to meet you. And he then...
Does your birds have names?
Yeah! And he points to a goldfinch and says, this is Chime. And he points to, don't laugh at, this is the bird's actual name, a great tit. This is Belle. This hummingbird is Skippy. And this blue jay is Jaunty, Cheeps the cardinal, and Nips the woodpecker.
I greet all of them by name and you just hear a bunch of bird sounds.
They're very excited to have you.
Kiara reaches forward, a little bit sandy, a lot of bit wet, and like sopping wet and wearing white. She just like shakes his hand. Kiara.
He's a little surprised, but he just takes it. I'm like, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And he pulls out some bird seed and he's like, do you want to feed them?
Aww.
Shakes off her hands. Sure.
So he puts some bird seed in your hand and make an animal handling check.
I don't know that. I think this might be the first time Kiara's encountering the birds up close, aside from anything that has been vibing near Ellie.
Can I?
What?
Oh,
The bird crumbs are wet. That is a 6.
I was gonna ask if I could can I assist or is it?
Yeah, assist her. So like
Yeah,
she's
so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to talk to the birds and be like, yeah, you should go towards Kiara. She's actually really nice. She made me wet, but she's really nice.
Yeah, at first like she's kind of just like, I mean, how do you scare the birds with your hand of food? You just kind of like jet it out there, like.
She probably puts her hand out right in time for Oculus to like sort of onto the side of her and like just like giant owl, so probably spook.
Yeah, so like all the other birds are like spook, and he's like, "Whoa, guys, come back!"
Hello.
And it takes him a minute, and he's like, "It's okay." And they kind of like,
It's okay. It's not an actual owl. It's a magic owl. They're
Oculus.
not gonna eat you. I think.
and he's like, "It's okay," and he's like,
Does Oculus start eating it?
Then Rolf puts out his arm and says, "Do you mind if your owl lands on me?" So they know he's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so you send an Oculus over, and he's someone who, like, you know how you can tell when someone's like used to an animal, and how to like handle them. Like you can tell he's used to just dealing with birds and how they are, and he just kind of takes them and holds them out. And says, "I guess it's okay," and the bird like returned to him, and there's like a minute where like he has just like Oculus and like all his little bird friends on one arm. They kind of check each other out, and then he then like kind of moves the birds over to your hand, and they flutter over, and soon you have 5 of the 6 birds eating the bird seed out of your hand, and it's charming. Like you have all these colorful little birds, and the other one that's not coming is the hummingbird, who is very interested in Ellie's flower hair.
Ah.
Ow!
Whoa. And then,
I don't think it would hurt. I think it would, like, I mean, can you feel your...
probably
you can't feel your
tickles because they have that little
I-
tongue that comes
yeah.
at the very end of their.
Yeah, I can feel my flowers.
So,
Part.
Oh.
I don't think it would eat immediately. It would just kind of, like, land on you and, like, look at you, like...
Mhm.
Investigate.
Investigating you. You know how an animal, like, they want something, but they're not sure how to proceed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like, you see it like kind of tilt its head back and forth. And Rolf says, I think it likes your flowers. Skippy. Skippy likes your flowers. She probably wants to, well, eat some of the nectar.
I mean, I guess you could have some. I've never had anybody eat my flowers.
It's like, well, if you think it's too weird, yeah, I can just tell her no, or you can, I don't know, pull it off. Maybe you can craft something.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna druid craft just like a little flower coming from my hand.
And
It'll
then
be.
he tells Skippy, like, he's like, go to that one, and kind of like flips over. It takes him like a few tries because birds like aren't super smart, but he's just like, over here. Skippy comes over and like lands on you and tentatively like licks up the flower he crafted. Nice little like bird mullen. You talk to Rolf, and you can tell that he's a good boy. He's a helper. It's someone who, yeah, he's someone who wants to be a helper, and
With all this stuff going on with birds, it just finally occurs to Luna that she hasn't seen Saoirse yet. She's like, where did she go off to?
could have her show up later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it finally occurs to her. She's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen her yet. Hope she's doing okay.
And let's see, what else? I got some others.
Kiara is probably a little cold above water, so once the birds have excused themselves, she's like, I'm putting on my dry tunic.
Yeah, Eravan I'm gonna go get some firewood. Anyone care to join me? It's just like,
I can help. I can't really get in the water anyway, so.
yeah, great. I know the wood super well, so it'll be good to have you.
I know these woods decently, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a survival check. Run. We got lost. Or a bag of locks.
Yeah, and so you start heading into the forest. The dogs start to like wrestle with each other, and Lionel starts getting into like the music, and he's like, "Oh, I want to wrestle. Who wants to wrestle?" And so then he goes over and like punches Rolf in the arm. He's like, "Do you want to wrestle?" And Rolf's like, okay, sure." So, and they start to just, I guess they just start wrestling. And, so, with Eravan, Luna, you and him walk through the trees, and here you notice that Eravan is in the lead. He walks through the trees with this sort of distinct ease and speed, which is unusual because he's usually kind of hanging out in the back. But he, you could tell.
She's kind of like taking note of where he's going, or like what exactly he seems to be doing.
Make a. I would be like, you could do insight or perception.
Okay, I'll do insight. 6.
As far as you can tell, he's just used to like forests, and he's just used to traversing that type of terrain. So like even though he's in a foreign forest, it seems to actually like comfort him a little bit. And you see him stop, and he pauses and says something in Druidic, which you understand. You still know that language, and basically you collect that he is talking to the plants and asks them where he could find dry wood. And there's just this moment of pause, and he says, "Oh, there's some wood this way." And then he keeps walking.
So, you and Keyanthi.
He's like choosing a log, and he's just like, then he like grabs onto his staff. He's just like, well, it seems there. It's like, I'm that obvious.
I've seen it a lot. That's all. Nothing you did wrong.
And he's just like, yeah, I mean, she's nice. Kind of like plays with his shirt a little bit, and she just doesn't really seem that interested. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know for sure one way or the other, but in general, she can be a bit aloof or not aware that you're trying to express interest. So, and also she does seem to have gone through a lot in her life, so I can see why she might be a little bit guarded, especially with her family. But from what I heard, you also had a fairly crappy home life.
And he's just kind of like, he does this like just long stare, and he's like, yeah. I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk about it. But,
Yeah, I mean, she also had a tough family life. And I know that she's not a Mongol like us. She forgets that Mongo is technically a slur for half-elves, which is kind of normalized around Virkis, because now she's back in Virkis. But then she kind of lets it slip around him.
and he's just like, and Eravan like looks taken aback, like, I'm
Such language from thy fair lady.
It's just like- and he's like,
You're a princess. I'm sorry.
what does Mungo mean to you?
Oh, we're half elves. We're all from around here. Most of us have some amount of elven blood somewhere.
Oh, so it's just,
Alright, hold.
it's not like,
Do you know much about Virkis?
I mean, no. I've never been
Yeah,
here.
I didn't do super great on all my history tests, but I did my best. And I know that we were founded by half-elves that were shunned by an elven community. So
He's
I
just
think
like-
they just kind of took a certain amount of pride in that.
he just like looks upward, like, okay, I think I can relate to this place. Yeah, he's just like, he says, come, and he beckons for you to come, and then he says, he takes you up to this hill, and he points over, and he says, I can see my father's land from here. And he's like, my whole life Haven was just a hillside away. And it's just kind of an odd idea to me. And like you make an insight check.
Okay. $19.
Alright, yeah. So you can tell like there is like there's like a weight, yeah, there's a weight behind what he's saying, and that there's also something else kind of bothering him, and if you prompted him, like you could probably get him to talk about it.
I'm getting the vibe there's something else.
It's just like, and you see him kind of like just eye you like, you're really insightful. And
I have my moments.
it's just like, there's this long pause as he kind of should collect himself, and he says, oh, maybe you would understand, I mean, you probably would understand where I'm coming from, but I just feel small here. Literally, as he gestures to himself, he's like, I mean, I can't really compete with someone like Lionel, and it just doesn't help that I've just been feeling kind of, I mean, how do I explain this? Druidcraft is all I know. It's been my whole life. I didn't have friends, it was just me and my brother, Darren, and Durana, and my older sister for a while. It was just kind of us, and our one friend, Lucian. And anyway, I guess I just have to ask myself, like, my whole life has been Druidcraft, and what good has it done to me? I don't know how to deal with my father. My living brother is still under his rule. My mother and elder sister have fled. I don't know exactly where they are, or if they're okay. Torina's dead. And what good is this power I have if it doesn't matter, if it doesn't make a difference to people I care about? And I just can't help but wonder, like, what I've been doing. And I feel foolish that I'm also just fretting over being compared to Lionel when I just have a lot bigger things to worry about. And I guess that's just... I feel cowardly. I don't like that about myself.
Well, so, for starters, it is good to just be aware that you are going through a lot right now. There is grief even in the things that you don't actually, even in the things you don't feel bad about losing. There is still like, it was one of the first things I had to figure out when I was on my pilgrimage, was just that it's like, even if I was like happy to go somewhere, or have a big change happen, or it's just, it hurts sometimes. Or even after when I first split up with Odo, it hurt. Because like you kind of like, I don't know if this is making sense, but you kind of attach yourself to the things around you at times, especially, and when you've only been in one place and then you get ripped away, it does kind of feel like you leave a part of yourself behind.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to, it's over time you do learn that you will grow again. Like, it won't be the same part of you that grows back, but you will still be complete in time. And it's also normal to just be stressed about this, about even just random things that are completely unrelated, like Lionel. Like, don't feel bad for not being able to compare to Lionel. I don't compare to Lionel. No one compares to Lionel. It's not a personal fault on your part.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate bruh.
No one can compare to Lionel. The myth.
Yeah, you see him crack your smile at that, and he's like, yeah. It's just like, I guess to Tarina, I was the Lionel. So it's, yeah, I don't know.
I know that if something were to happen to me, I know I wouldn't hold it against Lionel. Even if I know he does want to protect me. He has done some rather crazy things to try to protect me. He almost decapitated Odo once.
Lionel, Eravan just sort of like processes that and nods slowly.
Anyway, yeah, but still, it's like, even if something had happened to me, it wouldn't be his fault. And I don't know where Tarina is, but she isn't holding it against you. But it does make sense to wish that you could have done something, because you don't want to lose her.
Yeah. Well, I feel it's a little better just getting that off my chest. So.
Hang on, were the rest of us told that she was a banshee now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ellie.
Oh, actually, I do know where she is. Did we tell him?
No, he does not know.
Okay. Actually, she was brought back as a banshee to torment your father.
You said,
now
what?
that I remember. Yes.
What? He's like,
Meanwhile, at the campsite, through the trees.
yeah, we'll go back. Yeah, this is a good place to go back, yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, for like,
Juxtaposition,
what?
yeah.
And as you see, like, the wide screen where, like, all the birds fly up from the trees.
Yeah.
That was just for a dramatic. What? So, like, the birds fly away, everyone is, like, at the camp. Anyway, this got confirmed, and then back to them. Smash, go back to Luna.
Yeah, you're like, Birdman's just like, he kind of like shades his eyes, like.
I can't believe I forgot that. Oh, I guess there has been a lot happening. But
oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. Because.
at least she's happy.
Happy is a very subjective term.
She's bound here, so at least she's on the plane still. He's like, I don't. He kind of falls into the thought. He's like, I've been kind of trying to figure out a way to bring her back. You know, like, you've heard the stories. Maybe some of them are true.
Maybe.
Well, let's just. And then he pauses for a second and looks around. Wait, hang on. Listen. And you listen, so make a perception check.
Oh boy.
Party.
19.
So you listen, and nothing at first seems wrong. It's just silent, quiet. And then you realize this is a forest.
At night. Or
At night.
night-ish.
It shouldn't be quiet. And it's dead silent. And Eravan just looks around. And you see him, like... He just touches one other tree and talks to it in Druidic and asks, why is the forest quiet? And then you see him just become rigid as he looks up to you and says, the plant says there's a strange creature. It said, corpses shouldn't walk. And then it's just like, you see him kind of like shrink a little and like just
Yeah,
scan.
Luna too. Like,
They're like just scanning the area, like, and so make another perception check.
I'm gonna say a prayer of guidance on this one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh, come on. Kind of nat 1, and then a 1 on guidance, and I have a 1 to perception. 3.
Oh my gosh.
You're
Really
so
spooked.
Yeah, like you just,
having a great time. Nothing's wrong. Everything is safe.
you
Well, that's weird, Tree. Thank you. Just keep looking.
you and Eravan like instinctively kind of like huddle back to back and look around, and there's this animal instinct in you that just it senses that there's some sort of threat near.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can I smell it? If it's death, and I have weird senses?
You no, that perception check. You
What? Oh, okay.
no, the 3. You hear just your head, your heart just pounding, and you're just. And then it just goes away. Your body quiets, and the forest starts to just chirp again. And Eravan looks at you like he's shaking, like holding his staff. What was that?
I don't know. Did you get any other information? Or do trees just not know that much how to talk?
I mean, honestly, plants don't talk very elegantly. They just said it was a corpse walking. It's just like, oh my gosh, okay. Well, you see, like, shake out. Okay, let's just get that firewood. Okay. You get the firewood. You're like holding a staff around, like.
Luna's like, I'm unarmed.
Yeah.
I could be a werewolf and kill Eravan, or...
And,
Did we slip into the horror campaign again?
I love this. I'm into it.
I'm
We're
into
having a
it
good
too.
time, and then you know what? Zombies. Yes.
A pool party!
Now that our beach episode turned into a horror episode. Yay!
That's how
It's like
the horror
perfectly fitting. They complement each other.
There's like creeping dread underneath. It's just normal.
Love it.
Part of the chorus.
Yep.
Next person who goes swimming is gonna
We
get grabbed.
started the campaign on a cruise and we ended up being attacked by shark people or something.
I dig this.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll go back to the back at the camp. Kiara, would you be involved in the wrestling?
Yes, I would have. I would have probably like done a little bit of flute play, but then when I noticed that Rolf probably was having a hard time taking the big brute down, I've been like, all right. Sorry, that's enough of that. That's enough of that.
Roll for strength.
Oh, at least I have a +7. That would be a 14 plus 7. That is
21.
I don't know that math. 21. There you go. I'm like, I don't know that math.
Yeah, so Lionel is a slippery fellow, but you managed to pin him down and get him in an arm lock, and then he just like, okay, I give, jeez.
And like before I let him go, I just do this little thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna like pat him in the face, like all like encourage, like, oh, good job.
Good go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, I know, obviously Keyanthi's not aware of what happened with Eravan and the crew, you know, of Eravan and Luna there. But if I heard correctly, there's like corpses shouldn't walk, right? That's what I heard. Okay, so Keyanthi being a death cleric, would she feel some sort of disturbance like that, especially because of like, you know, death cleric stuff, or nah? I'm just wondering if I should, if I have that opportunity.
I don't know if death clerics have like a.
Would that be
I don't know, I'm trying
specific
to find
to
the rule. I'm like, it feels like it would fit.
Undead.
I don't know.
I'm an idiot. I have to find out. Wait.
I'm just asking if there's a way I can be cool. I want to be cool.
Alright, just make a religion check.
Yeah, I like that. Alright, what is... That's me in the spotlight, using my religion check. Alright. I can't read. Oh,
That's
good. There's
just
no
me in the corner,
no plus, no minus, just
teaching
vibes.
friends to swim.
Alright. I tried. I got a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're just observing, chilling out. You do get like a little bit of a weird vibe from the forest, so you look over there, and what you see is Estrella and Rian kind of like peering through the woods and then like turning and like talking to each other, and behind them comes up this man with like white silvery hair. You know he's another guy in the night guard. So it's like super weird since they're all together on the night guard, they're talking. And you can try to approach them and see what they're talking about.
Okay.
Do you want to stealth or do you just want to like catch luck?
Oh, I think Keyanti's not gonna think anything's really wrong. She'll be like, oh, they seem perturbed. Let's go find out what's wrong. She's gonna
Oh, hello, Night Guard.
stroll over.
We are enjoying our
Hello.
time waiting for some wood. Hi.
Waiting for some wood.
Let's see if they're, Okay, so you come up to them, and Keyanthi, I'll say with your dex, you're really quiet. And basically, you hear Rihanna saying, oh, come on, you can't just not live your life. Okay, just go to the lake. It's not a big deal. Just see, yeah, but Rolf is there, and like Lion is there, and Ben's there, and it's just like awkward. And like we're dating for like forever, and no one's like, and then Brian's just like, come on, just get it over with, rip it off like a band-aid, come on, let's go do this. And she's like, I really don't want to, like, it's just fine, I can just go to like a different day, it's fine. And then Rune comes down, and this is the first time you've actually heard him talk, just because he does talk a lot. And he says, are we going to the lake or what? Are we waiting? Well, this
Hold
one
up.
here is trying to chicken out because her ex is there also. Man, come on, just get it over with. I mean, you live in the same place. There's no point in trying to beat around the bush. You're both adults. You can handle this. And Strolla is just like, yeah, but I don't want to handle it. I don't want to. And then, Keyanthi, you can say something at this point. Because...
Well, honestly, it sounds like it's their business.
Okay, yeah.
They're just talking about, you know, ex-girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff. So if nothing seems to be wrong, I think Keyanti's probably just gonna return where everyone else was. wrestling and
I'm walking up, walking away. I do like a little U-turn, like a horseshoe turn. Up.
what are you gonna do, Marge? Her love life? She's not that kind of person. She barely has her own. I don't know what to do.
So she, the two females don't notice you. The Rune notices you. And you just see him like look over at you, and then observe you. But then as you turn around, he just doesn't say anything.
Beautiful discussion. Thanks for the chat. Have to go by.
A whole conversation with eyes, like all. Seagal, hello, you're walking up. Yes, I'm walking up. Oh, I noticed that this is a very private conversation. I'm gonna turn around now. All right, I'll say nothing.
Yeah.
Waving with my eyes.
On brand.
On brand. And comes up behind you, and Lionel calls out, and he's like, "Hey, babe!" And Prune kind of just waves and says, and comes up to Lionel, and Lionel says, "Hey, everyone, this is my boyfriend, Rune, and I just wanted to have him party with us for a little bit before he went to work." And you see them kind of like, he puts his arm around him, and they kind of give him, you know, the looks that couples give each other, and like that's how they look at each other, and they're kind of lovey. And Rune says, "Hi, nice to meet you guys. I'm not much of
Hello.
a swimmer, but I hear Galak's gonna bring out some of his arrows." And Lionel's like, "Yeah, we're gonna light this thing up." And he's like, "Oh, hey, is that Gels coming down?" And you guys look over and you see Galak riding down on his wolf, who he has all of these like quivers loaded up with these different arrow tails, arrow ends, I guess. And
Hello, this is Tiffany, your GM for Dungeon Damsels. We update on Wednesdays and Saturdays now at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have merchandise on our Redbubble and on links via the Linktree. We also have coffee and a Patreon if you wish to donate to us. Please like, subscribe, and comment, as we would love to hear from you. You can also find us on basically every podcast platform out there if you can't sit down and listen to a YouTube video. And if you're wondering why we don't stream, it's because my internet can't support it. But regardless, thank you for listening and watching. And remember to be kind, inclusive, and loving.